Hello everyone, welcome back to Sweet Project at Home. Today we will be making a Yema caramel cake. So be ready to list down the ingredients and let's get started. For the chiffon cake, you will need the following ingredients. 2 cups of sifted cake flour, 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon salt, 2 sets of 3/4 cup granulated white sugar, in which one will be used for the egg whites and the other one for the egg yolks, 1/3 cup water, half a cup of vegetable oil, 1/3 cup fresh milk, 6 egg yolks, 1 cup or 7 egg whites, and 1 teaspoon cream of tartar. To make the chiffon cake base, you will need a large bowl, and to this we'll combine cake flour, 1 portion of the 3/4 cup granulated sugar, baking powder, and salt. Whisk all dry ingredients until well combined. For this, we'll be using a wire whisk. You can stir this around 30 times to make sure that all ingredients are well incorporated. Or you can also sift the ingredients 3 times to make sure that the ingredients are evenly distributed. After mixing all the dry ingredients together, make a well at the center of the bowl and let's add the liquid ingredients. First, we have half cup of oil. We'll add in water, fresh milk, and egg yolks. Mix these ingredients using a wire whisk until you achieve a smooth batter. Continue mixing until you create a smooth batter. Once you have incorporated all the dry ingredients into the liquid, set this aside and we'll prepare the egg white mixture. For our egg white mixture, we need a clean bowl, and to this we'll add in egg whites. And we'll also add the cream of tartar into the egg whites. The cream of tartar will act as a stabilizer to the egg white foam. In making the egg white mixture, you must make sure that all the tools as well as the egg whites are free from any traces of fat. Any fat that's mixed into the egg whites will prevent the egg white from developing its maximum volume. Whip the egg whites until around frothy stage before adding the granulated sugar. Please take note that on this recipe, we have 2 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. The other portion was added into the egg yolks, and this portion will be added into the egg whites. Once sugar is all added into the egg whites, continue beating this until stiff and glossy. Now let's check our meringue. So to check the consistency, pull the whisk, and if the meringue create peaks pointing upwards, this means that the egg whites are at stiff peaks. Egg whites that are overbeaten usually loses its volume, appears dry, and is watery. Now let's fold the meringue into the batter. With the batter mixture at the bottom, I initially fold in 1/4 of the egg white mixture and add the rest of the egg whites after. To do this, I use a wire whisk, which is actually easier to do. Then in the final folding process, I transition to a rubber scraper. Make sure to do this carefully as you do not want to deflate the egg whites. Pour our mixture into two 7 by 3-inch cake pan. Please take note that our cake pan is not greased or it is also not lined. I noticed that lining cake pans make the chiffon cakes shrink. Level off the top using an offset spatula. Once ready, we will bake this at a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 to 40 minutes. Once baked, invert the cakes immediately into a cake rack. Once cake is cooled to room temperature, loosen the sides of the cake. The cake should release easily. Now let's prepare the Yema caramel frosting. For this you will need the following ingredients: 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, 1 cup fresh milk, 1/4 cup water, 3 egg yolks, 1/4 cup condensed milk, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon butter, and 1/4 cup of fresh milk. Now let's prepare the Yema caramel frosting. First is we combine water and 1 cup of fresh milk. This will need to be warmed before we add this to our caramel later on. In a separate bowl, combine egg yolks, cornstarch, condensed milk, salt, and fresh milk. Please note that we have 2 sets of fresh milk. The other fresh milk was combined with water and the second one was added into the egg yolks. Set this aside. Now we place sugar into our saucepan and we caramelize this at medium heat. Check the color of the caramel. The darker the caramel is, the darker the frosting. Once sugar is completely caramelized, add the warmed water and milk mixture. Continue to stir and cook until caramel is dissolved into the liquid. The next is to temper our egg yolk mixture. Take a small portion of the hot mixture and mix it into the egg yolks. Then add the egg yolk mixture back into the caramel and continue to cook until icing is thick in consistency. Once icing is thick, put off from fire and mount the icing with butter. Make sure to use this icing while hot. Pour the icing on top of the cake and spread this evenly using an offset spatula. The icing does not have to be perfectly smooth on the cake as we will be adding some pipe decorations later on. Now let's prepare the translucent buttercream that is perfect for our piped flowers. For this we will need 2 cups of butter, 2/3 cup of sugar, and 2/3 cup egg whites. To make the translucent buttercream, first we need to use a heat-proof bowl, and to this we will combine egg whites and sugar. We will place the egg white and sugar mixture on top of the simmering water to pasteurize the egg whites and melt the sugar. The best way to test this is to feel it on your fingers, or you can also use a thermometer. The egg white should feel very warm on your fingers. Once done, set this in the refrigerator for about 4 hours. Once the egg white mixture is cold, beat the butter using a mixer. Beat the butter until it is fluffy, then gradually add the cold egg white mixture. Continue to beat this until egg whites are blended into the butter. You can use this buttercream to pipe flowers. For our cake, we will be making buttercream hydrangeas and roses. Piping flowers is not easy as it takes a lot of patience and practice. For this video, I will show you an easy way to make buttercream hydrangeas. In making this buttercream flower, you will need a flower nail, a piping bag fitted with a coupler and tip 101. First is you pipe a mound of blue icing on the center of the flower nail, and using a light pressure, squeeze icing to make 4 small petals. Repeat this process to cover the mound of icing that was created. Later on, we will pipe a small dot on the center of each flower. Using a flower lifter, take this hydrangea into a board and set this aside. You can also chill your flowers for a couple of minutes so it is more stable to use them when you arrange them on the cake later on. Next is the buttercream rose. To be honest, this is a bit harder to do as it requires a lot of hand coordination with using the flower nail and piping bag. But nonetheless, I will show you the steps on how I created the buttercream roses on the cake. If you are having a hard time creating these flowers, you can simply omit them on the cake, or you can pipe simple rosettes on top. That will look just as pretty as the buttercream flowers. If you want to learn more on how to create these buttercream flowers, drop in a comment below and I can create buttercream flower video tutorials in the future. Now let's start to decorate our Yema caramel cake. Using a piping bag with tip number 1, make squiggly strands of buttercream on the sides of our caramel cake. If you decide to omit the buttercream flowers, you can do this design on top of the cake as well. There you have it, Yema caramel cake decorated with buttercream flowers. Thank you to everyone who supported our YouTube channel, Sweet Project at Home. And for more recipes and baking ideas, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. See you next time!